During our Farm Basics time today, we want to talk about one of the most important things a farmer has to know in his operation. It's cation exchange capacity.
All right, we talk about a lot of things when it comes to fertility and looking at our soils and how we analyze things. One of the most important ones is this cation exchange capacity because it lets us know how much the soil can hold. And isn't that important? If we're going to put nutrients onto a soil, we should know how much it can hold in the first place.
All right, with cation exchange capacity, or CEC for short, it's a measurement of the type of clay you have in your soil, the amount of clay you have, and the amount of organic matter. The higher the number, the heavier your soil and or the more organic matter you have. So, for example, if we say you've got a 20 or greater cation exchange capacity, we would consider that a heavy soil. If you have a 10 or less, we would consider that a light soil. Chances are maybe to a little bit lower organic matter. And what that does, by having an actual number, is it gives us something to go by when it comes to nitrogen recommendations. So for example, farmers don't want to overapply nitrogen. And I know we hear a lot in the media about, oh, farmers are polluting the land and everything else. Farmers are going to overapply nutrients because nutrients cost money, and it's a waste of money, and the average farmer in the United States last year lost money. Okay, farmers are not getting filthy rich. A lot of guys lost money last year. So they're not going to overapply nitrogen. That's ridiculous. But how much can they actually put on a soil and have that soil hold it? Well, what we use for a measurement is 10 times the cation exchange capacity. So let's say, for example, your cation exchange capacity was 13. 13 times 10 is 130 pounds. If there are already 40 pounds in the soil, you subtract 40 off your 130, and you could apply safely around 90 pounds, and we'd usually tell the guy, I'd stay even a little lower than 90 pounds. So the farmer will do that. He'll use nitrogen stabilizers. He'll split apply his nitrogen. He'll do a lot of different things to make sure that he's keeping the nitrogen on his crop, in his soil, and not in somebody's water.
Well, cation exchange capacity isn't one of those measures that tells you, oh, I have this many pounds of a nutrient out in the field already, but it does give us an idea of the holding capacity of our soil and helps farmers make the best choices when they're applying more nutrients for this year's crop.
Well, one of the things farmers need to make good choices with is weed control, especially when it comes to our weed of the week. Can you identify this week's weed?